Hello, everyone. It's good to be with you again. When we were together last, we were ministering out of Isaiah chapter 6, that after King Uzziah died, who was a good king and favorable to Judah, there was uncertainty about Judah's future. And that's when God gave Isaiah a glimpse into heaven. He got insight to the power that was ultimately behind the governmental throne to begin with. All along, it was God in his majesty and his might and his supreme control that was responsible for Judah's well-being, as is the case with us. We're in a transition in our government in the United States of America, but ultimately we have to look unto Jesus, who is the author and the finisher of our faith. And so in the 9th chapter of Isaiah introduces the promise that the darkness will not remain, but that unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. And because of that, we have a guarantee that things will change. But as much as they change, we will be preserved in the midst of them. Those are promises and guarantees from God. But in the midst of difficult times, it can sometimes be difficult to be motivated. And the famous writer Toni Morrison found herself, after an unfavorable turnout of an election a couple of decades ago, she didn't specify which one, she found herself blocked artistically. She couldn't write, she couldn't go forward. And one of her friends scolded her and said, "Oh, now is the time to write." Because in dark times, creative people create. Writers write. Singers make music. Those who are creative create. And in these difficult times, under pressure, we sometimes produce our best work. It's not time to shy away. It's not time to give up. It's time to advance. It's time to do all that needs to be done. Not relying on anybody else or any other system, but relying on what God has given us to do what only we can do to make the difference in the world in which we live. So I want to encourage you to be strengthened. Paul said in the first letter to the church at Corinth, the 15th chapter and the 58th verse, "Be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing this, that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." I want you to be strengthened. And I will say to a certain group of angels in the city of Los Angeles, go to Royce Hall on the 7th and the 8th of December and kill it. Bring the light. Light is most effective in darkness. Salt is most absent when the flavor is missing, and a pinch of it lightens up a meal. I want you to know that we are required to be and to do what God has called us to be and to do, even in dark times. We're required to thrive in the midst of it, and God will bless us and let his presence be made known, and he will preserve us and he will cause us to flourish. God bless you. Amen.